everyone. Welcome back to the United States and to the Peach Court podcast. Mitch and I are back. Mitch is joining us this week instead of Parker because he has to work, sadly. But Mitch came with me to Brazil, and so I thought it'd be fun to have, just a common Joe joining us that loves playing Pokemon and talk about Pokemon. Of course, we've got Max Corcoran back with us as well. We'll hear from him and what he did this weekend watching the LAIC from Duval, Florida. We'll talk about LAIC, how Mitch and I did, what deck we chose to play, and why we chose to play it. Talk about the Brazil and the community. Had a great time down there. We'll jump to that in a little bit. And of course, we'll talk about the results of the Latin American International Championships. We had Reggie Drago dominate that tournament, at least the top 8. And we'll talk a little bit about that. We'll talk about the fantasy results and how Brent Tonneson put me on his back and carried me to the dub. And then we'll talk about Sacramento. We'll usually do some type of tier list or something, but we're gonna do some boom or doom this week, and we're gonna make some choices. We'll give you some opinions. Shout out to a little fun segment that's been going around social media. So that'll be a little bit of fun. We'll do that towards the end. But let's start off, man. Like, Maddox, what was your weekend like back in the States?
Yeah, weekend was good. A lot of FOMO, but also a lot of me setting 7 a.m. alarms just to be able to wake up and like watch the stream all day. So it's been a fun time, a little chill weekend. Been on a little bit of a break from traveling, but getting back into it here in December for Toronto, January, February. And I theoretically have I'm going to like 4 majors in 5 weeks, so we'll see how that goes. But yeah, enjoying it, enjoying things back home. Really just excited to cheer on Eric, Mitch, and kind of the rest of the squad all over in Brazil.
Yeah, and Mitch, you were with me in Brazil. What'd you think? How'd you think Brazil was, man?
It was quite the time. Definitely wasn't the same without our boy Maddox, but
Yeah.
it's okay. We got through it. We braved through it. But no, Brazil was it really was fantastic. The food was just just awesome to die for. Going back to that same place was awesome. And yeah, no, all around, everyone was really nice and
Yeah.
we had a good time really. So,
Yeah, definitely got to shout out our Uber driver Saturday night and Sunday morning.
yep.
So Maddox, a little quick side
Was it
story
the
because you
same
don't know
guy, or is it
this.
the little like the hey yo, let me
Oh,
slide
same
you my
guy.
number and or
Yeah,
just
yes.
happened to get Uber paired?
No, it was slide the number and pick us up
Okay.
in 2 hours.
Yep.
Because our flight was at
anyone
3
anyone listening to this, be extremely careful when doing that,
It's very true.
especially and not your home country.
It's
So
very true.
we get in the car, right? And it's 12 a.m. We just got done hanging out with Shuffle Squad and we're going back to the hotel to
Yep.
get an hour and a half of sleep before our flight. This is our first driver all weekend that spoke a lick of English. Um, I started discovering it because he was playing some like really good Linkin Park, like rock music, and Linkin Park was there this weekend. So I was like, "Hey, do you like this music?" He's like, "Yeah, I speak English like fluently. Love rock music and yada yada." I'm like, "You gotta come to Rockville." And then he's like, "The Jaguars suck," and I'm like, "Yeah, I know, but stop roasting me."
Because you're
Uh,
wearing your Jags hat.
yeah, so I was wearing my Jags hat. Um,
Yep.
but man, he was a great time. He picked us up at 3 a.m., took us to the airport. It was just
Yep.
so nice to have a friendly face. Wish we had met him sooner, but
Yep. Shout out Victor.
yeah, shout out
Yeah,
We
Victor.
appreciate we appreciate you, man.
yeah.
I know you're listening to this while you're driving your Uber right now, so thank you.
Here's hoping. He had to turn off numb to listen to this.
Yeah.
Or in the end or something like that.
Yeah. All right, so let's talk about Mitch. Mitch, we got you on the podcast. As always, when we have a guest, we like to do some rapid fire questions. Maddox and I
Yes,
are going to throw
Mitch.
some rapid fire questions at you, and you give us your answers. Ready for them?
Yeah.
All
Let's
right,
do it.
Mitch, what got you into playing Pokemon?
What got me into playing Pokemon? Definitely um had a little Game Boy SP with Emerald version. That was really what got me into it. Playing the games with my brother and sister and growing up with it. Just never really got rid of it. Just always stuck with it. So and thankfully did because I wouldn't have met everyone like you guys. So
Yeah. Starter Pokemon from Emerald?
I gotta say Torchic because Blaziken is just
All
it's
right.
pretty sick. So
Yeah, it's got firearms, right?
yeah, I mean it's a kicking chicken.
It's a kicking chicken.
Chicken, chicken.
Yeah, so what's your favorite Pokemon overall?
My favorite Pokemon is Lucario.
Thank God.
He's the best. Just second favorite is Rayquaza, but I do have my little Lucario with me.
Lucario.
Love it, love it.
And my little plush I bring everywhere to every regional, and it's a good time.
Go ahead, Max.
All
Pick
right,
some next ones.
let's see. And last one here. So what do you like to do when you're not playing Pokemon?
I like to play some basketball.
Mitch
Derek,
schooled us. He is so good.
Y'all actually played in Brazil.
We didn't play in Brazil, but in Fort Lauderdale, waiting on the airport.
yeah, yeah. We were back at my parents' place, and it was a good time. It was a good time. So definitely definitely want to go play some basketball with all. Heard about your Hawaii adventures, going playing ball with some more Pokemon folks. That'd be a ton of fun.
Yeah, so Andrew Hedrick, if you're listening, Mitch has officially challenged you to a money match at the next regional he's at.
That'll do.
I'm putting all my money on Andrew Hedrick because he's the best.
Oh
But
crap!
Wait, what if it's like a blended like Pokemon and like basketball challenge?
oh,
So
like
it's what if it's like you're playing a game of Pokemon, so it's like first person to take 6 prizes or to like hit like 20 baskets, something like that, like 23s, right? Because it's something like you're playing, you're like making your actions while the other person's shooting. So if you take too long, they get more time to shoot. Or if you can like win faster, or if you're bad at basketball, do you play like a donk deck and just try to run them off the table?
Well, what happens if you play Iron Bundle while I'm shooting?
Well, then you got to come back and take your action, right? Like, and then now I'm shooting while you're trying to decide what to promote.
Triathlon of basketball and Pokemon. I'm down.
Write
That
that down.
sounds fun.
Write that down. Write that down.
Write that down right now.
So some extra context for Mitch for the audience, right? Mitch is a local of ours, good buddy of ours. He traveled with us to Japan, the whole podcast crew. So if you look back at any of that old stuff, it was me, Eric Parker, and our buddy Mitch. So Mitch has been here for the long haul, been a big supporter of the pod, and again, been on some killer runs lately, including LAIC that I know he's going to get into. So we will talk about that, and Mitch, excited to have you on.
Yeah, appreciate it.
Yeah, let's jump right into it, Maddox. You let us right into it. Go for it.
Yeah, all right. So listen, it doesn't take too long of following Eric on Twitter to know that he is a huge Miraidon guy and played Miraidon to LAIC. And Eric and Mitch, you both played the exact same list, actually. You both settled on the same 60 cards, taking the Don all the way, kind of running back, which y'all played in Louisville. I know you both played Miraidon, same 60. So you've been kind of Miraidon demons for a little bit. We know about that. So again, Miraidon, not everyone's favorite deck going in. We know it did very well at last year's LAIC. What made you confident about it going into this week?
Go ahead, Mitch.
Well, honestly, it was we just want to go fast, and we want to go fast, hit 220, and obviously you live and die by the generators. And when you're living by the generators, man, you are living by the generators. Like it is great, and being able to try to get just that early gust KO just quickly off the bat is just so strong in this meta, and being able to toss an Iron Hands in there to try to mix up with the single prizes that are around there, it definitely wreaks havoc for sure.
Yeah, for me it's just it's I wanted to play a turbo deck. As most people know, I'm not a fan of the tie rates and the ties in the game, so I wanted to play a deck that could easily finish a best of 3, be the aggressor in the matchup. And so, obviously most of the community, the 50%, the most popular deck, Raging Bolt, people are turning to that. But when I look at Raging Bolt on paper, its hardest matchups are Lugia, Zard, and Terapagos. Because like Terapagos, while they're playing one vacuum, it's a little bit better. But like I think Terapagos is probably favored overall. And so in those 3 matchups, Miraidon flips 2 of them to favored and keeps Charizard as kind of unfavored. So on paper, that's what made me feel confident about Miraidon. And just making sure that we built the most consistent 60 card list to try to maximize our chances of playing every game and hitting those generators. So we ended up playing a third Miraidon, whereas in Louisville we only played 2, just because we did want to up that consistency a little bit. And I think we went down from 4 Ultra Ball to 3 in favor of a third Nest Ball, just to, again, easier ball search in the beginning. And that kind of combines with cutting the rod. So by cutting the rod, you don't want as many Ultra Balls because those decisions are sometimes very difficult when you don't have a rod in your deck to be able to like put energy back or put bear back or anything along those lines.
Yeah, we cut the ninja as well.
Yeah, and cut Radiant Greninja. Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, again, Miraidon's a deck that's seen kind of varying levels of success throughout the format. LAIC wasn't its best position. We had one in the one make day two, Solomon Surge, another Miraidon Enjoyer, and
Yep.
a friend of ours as well.
Playing the Thunderous.
Yeah, what was that?
He plays the Thunderous.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah, single prize.
Nice little single prize attacker, KOs a Pidgeot.
It's like 140.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So, but that didn't still top both of y'all from getting just one win away, both ending up with a 5-3 record. So again, let's go into that a little bit. And Mitch, I want to start with you. Again, you actually had some a pretty good start, and actually some great games against pretty household name. So how would you tell us about how your round 2 went in LAIC?
Yeah, so I had the honor, I guess you could say, of playing Caleb Gettimer. So definitely a super well known, super good player.
A Raging Bolt champion in Louisville.
Yes, yeah. So yeah, looked at my pairings, and our buddy Austin was like, "Oh, who'd you get?" I was like, "Oh, I got Caleb." He's like, "Oh man, you're hitting the raid boss like right away." I was like, "Yeah, I mean, yeah, we'll see how it goes." I was like, "All right, he's playing Bolt probably," and then he flips up and it's Zard. And I'm like, great. All right, I know what I need to do here. I need to go, like get hands and get a charm on it and say deal with it. Have fun.
So you're saying you went all the way to Brazil just to play a regional champion right after winning a regional with your decks again if you're playing your deck's worst matchup.
Yes. Round
All
2.
Right. round 2 in Brazil.
Round 2 in Brazil.
Okay.
Yeah.
So like how was the food afterwards? Did you get a nice soda? What was the gist?
The food afterwards was very sweet after the 2-0. It was quite the time. And it was definitely the first match was a little rough for both of us. We were like it was pretty much like draw, crap, like pass, draw, and like do a little bit, and then well, pass. So it wasn't much, but then it started to once we both had a good state that we were throwing punches right and left, and
did things start to amp up?
Things did start to amp, and amp you very much was indeed announced a couple times. And so then I ended up taking that game pretty close. In the end, it was just came down to like literally a couple cards. So and then
off the Iono or hitting one more off the generator or something like that. So.
Yep. And then it was I was like, okay, so then he's like, all right, I'm gonna go. He said he wanted to go first. Yeah. And so I was like, okay, that's fine. Still gonna do my game plan. And the generators were indeed hitting that game. And it got to the point where it would have been really bad for me if I didn't set up and have the MVP in the deck, Iron Bundle. If I did not have Iron Bundle in the deck, I would not have won that game because he would have easily been able to set up another Zard. But he had a big Zard in the active, and I was able to just bundle around it, and I set up 2 attackers to checkmate him with a Pidgeot that he sends up, and then any one of the 1-prizers that he would send up with the Iron Hands. So it was a nice, good 2-0.
Yeah. Good stuff, man.
That's awesome. Yeah, I mean, again, just the again, someone like yourself who goes to some of the regionals but isn't playing quite the level of Eric Ryer traveling, and again, and you face some of those top players in the face and tough games, and I think it's awesome that you had this rough matchup that just you said, doesn't matter, I'd win.
I mean, I get to verse you guys at locals freaking every week, so
that's
it's
right.
like, all right, guess I'm and Parker as well. It's like, all right, I guess I'm versing 3 resident world world travelers and world competitors and what. Not yet. I meant competitors, world competitors.
Listen, it took Ash how many seasons to get there? We'll get there. It's fine.
So.
All right, so Eric, so I mean, like, let us know how your day's going at the same time, right? So you see Mitch hitting all the generators, hitting generators, like, what's that feeling like halfway through the day?
Yeah, I mean, halfway through the day, round 1 hit a Raging Bolt, and he wasn't ready for double Zapdos, and so it did its work and did its job, and I won that one. And round 2, I hit a Miraidon mirror, and I'm like, oh my God, not this again, bro. Like, because I like round 9 in Louisville, I hit a round Miraidon mirror, and I'm like, oh God. And they were going second, and they played Secret Box, and I'm like, oh God, they're gonna hit everything because like the one thing the Secret Box can do is just like KO the active for the most part, like every turn.
Yeah.
Um, so what I did find though, I found the single best route in the Miraidon mirror that anyone can ever find. So we're in game 3. I'm going first, and I open Blood Moon or Luna. I look at my hand. I have a nest ball. I've got I've got some stuff. I have an energy I could attach. I've got, a supporter for next turn. My hand looks okay. And I just evaluate. And I'm like, Miraidon currently does not play any way to do 260 damage to a Blood Moon Ursa Luna if I don't bench anything on my bench. So I said, okay, attach, pass. Your go, bud. Didn't bench anything, didn't do anything. He goes, that's a line. And then he goes, like, fills his board, like, hits a generator, like, has an attacker, but just like he also passes. Like doesn't go for the attack, just like leaves single prizer in the active. And I'm like, cool, draw. There's a generator. That's cool. Pass. So I'm not gonna do anything until he attacks. And the moment he attacks, I'm just gonna go all in on KOing that two prizer and going 2-2-2 from there. Because the only way your only lose con from there is if you bench like a Luminion and they can go amp amp. That's your only
Yep.
lose con. There's literally no other lose con. Obviously if you miss off of an Iono or something, but like assuming that you're playing the game. So that was like a really nifty, like I was so proud of myself for that. And the reward I got for that was hitting the homie Jarrett Camilla in round 3 playing Palkia Dustnor. Tough matchup. The Froakie's very, very difficult to deal with. And we had a great set. Game 1, I prime catchered his Froakie, I amped it, and the rest was history.
That
Game
darn
2,
frog.
yeah, game 2, I had to hit his Froakie for 1, and he was able to go 2-2-2 from there. And then game 3, no, actually, sorry, game 2 was a hard brick. Excuse me, that was game 3. Game 2 was just a hard brick from me. It was literally attached pass going second, and he donked me. Um, and then game 3, I had to hit his Froakie for 1. And I was never able to kind of like get the prize trade back by amping the Palkia for 3. So he was able to win a close game 3 because I was never able to kind of even the prize trade back, which the only thing we have is amping Palkia at that point. So I lost that one, a little tough. I'll just do one more and then I'll stop. And then I hit Lugia next round. And I'm like, sick, free auto win that one, go to lunch real quick. We were done in like nearly 10 minutes. Guy didn't know how to play the matchup either. Didn't help. So
Like no one plays this deck anymore.
yeah, so 3-1 going to lunch, feeling pretty good. Well, not my lunch, but 3-1 going to lunch, feeling pretty good. Mitch's 4-0. We're both killing it and feeling pretty good.
Yeah, so I mean, so Mitch, I mean, take me back, right? So you're 4-0, right? You're playing, your generator's hitting your 5-0, right?
Yeah.
Again, I know stuff to look back on it, but like, tell me like what you're feeling in that moment, and then like, if things went wrong or how it felt, like ending the day 5-3.
Yeah, no, so it was being
Gin and
5-0, that
tonic.
was that gin and tonic indeed later on afterward. Yeah, that was that was uttered many a times. Um and this is a little inside joke we had at dinner. Um but no, it was being 5-0, like that feeling. I know you and Eric would tell me about, like, hey, when you're going on that run, like you just that feeling that you get, just the exhilaration and the adrenaline, everything. It was just like, man, I want that feeling like again and again
Yeah.
and again. Like it was wild. So definitely on all the support from the 904, shout out in the group chats and stuff like that, being like, dude, you're like I wasn't even looking at my phone because also my phone wasn't working very well. So it's kind of working to my favor because I was pretty locked in. Eric had me there pretty locked in, so it was good. But it just happened to be, I thought I was playing pretty optimally. Obviously, I wouldn't say like perfect, but I would say like pretty darn good. I was feeling myself going real good. So, but my opponents just had it each time just a little better than I did. So yeah, versus like a Palkia Dustnor in round 6, man had 2 Froakies. that freaking frog posed a huge problem to me. He was able to get it out every time. But I took to game three. It was close, is what it was. And then hit a Zard unfair stamp.
Mhm.
And he had it as well. Again, it was close, but is what it was. And then yeah, the last round was a Polt. And the Polt was a little spicy, but again, I played it, thought pretty optimally, but is what it was. So I ended up 5-3, but I definitely won't forget that feeling. And it made me turn around pretty quick of all right, I wanna what's the next major event I can go to? So
There you go. I mean, those are those feelings that are so good to feel, right? I mean, everyone dreams to, maybe everyone dreams to make a day two or make a top eight or win a tournament, something like that. But again, just that like thrill, right? That's part of the enjoyment of the game. I mean, and sometimes the thrill has a letdown, but then it's sometimes a reminder to say, hey, what can we do better? I mean, I've
yep,
been in some spots too, of like 501 and then and then missing from there
yeah,
type of thing. So those spots are tough. But again, I think it's still, while you maybe weren't so proud of your run at the time, again, 5-0 start, 5-3 finish all the way in Brazil, with a deck that, you picked up a little recently. I think, very proud of that run, and you should feel good about that. So glad
yeah,
to have you represent
definitely.
904. Eric, I know you had a similar fate in a different order of events.
Yeah, yeah.
Anything you want to round out? Any final moments or games you want to
No,
talk about
I
from the
mean, I
legacy?
think like Mitch said earlier, you live and die by the generator, and rounds 5 and 6 was definitely just me dying by the generator. Round 5, I hit a Raging Bolt. I won game 1. Game 2, he chose to go second. I opened okay. I start Zapdos, so I'm good, with single prizer, and he
Yep,
goes, "There's an Ogerpon on the active. Attach a Lightning Energy. Pass." And I'm like, sick. I've got Arvin and Stone, and I just Stone for a generator. I've got 2 generators. Just got to hit 2 off of, combined off of these 2 generators because I've got double turbo in hand to get the active out. And I already
Mm.
touched them right on, and it was generator fail, and so I missed attack that turn completely because of that, which would have been
yep,
a donk to win that round and go 5-1, or sorry, 4-1. Lost that set and then end up losing set 3 because again generators weren't hitting. I'm like, okay, that's fine. We're still in it. Got to win the next 3. Get rewarded with a Lugia right after a loss again. I'm like, sick. Here we go. And then game 1 goes just as planned. Game 2, he's got his only Lugia there. Generator fail. It's like sick, great. And then game
yep,
3 get completely donked. Like I literally just got donked game 3. Um, so I mean, you live and die by them. But every deck has stuff they live and die from, right? If Bolt doesn't find Sadas or a way to discard energy to get Sada going, it struggles. Every deck has something, right? You know, if Charizard doesn't find its rare candies, it doesn't get going, right? So every deck has something, and I felt we built our list to be as consistent as possible, and it just let me down a little bit there. But then I hit Thorns the next round, which is a complete auto win for us right now, unless you just auto brick, because they're two-shotting you, and you've got 2 Zapdos and a Charm to protect one of them. And it's just pretty much like auto free. So I won that one 2-0. And then I hit a Palkia Dust over the last round, and was able to kind of execute my game plan, and close out for points. So successful trip. Got 80 points, Miraidon here. Got 80 points Miraidon Louisville, and it's only getting better this set, and we'll talk about that in a little bit.
Yeah, awesome. Again, congrats to y'all on fun trip to Brazil. Wish I was there with y'all, and glad that y'all got to go and represent 904, have some fun with Miraidon,
Yeah,
and get into it. But the deck that y'all did not face, that was really the deck of the tournament,
yeah, we didn't hit any of
Reggie
them.
Drago V-Star. I mean,
Crazy.
what else to say about that? I mean, we have 4 in the top 8 and 5 in the top 10 asymmetrical cut. And also, I mean, featuring 2 players playing the exact same 60, both making top 4, with a little bit different than normal Reggie Drago list. Right, we can talk about Miloslav again, accomplished player on his own, getting that first major win, and now building out a pretty long, starting a growing limitless page. Actually played the exact same list to
Yeah,
Lily,
they did. Holy moly.
and Daniel played the same list at top 3 in Gdansk, opting for the Hisuian Gudra V Star, the Haxorus from Paldea of no Paldea, yeah, wait, I'm looking at the wrong set, from Shrouded Fable. And also, I mean, the big choices, no jamming tower, no Radiant Charizard. I think you actually hear on the interviews they just kind of say, hey, Raging Bolt, and you just
Raging Bolt can't hurt me. It's not real.
yeah, it's like Raging Bolt doesn't
Raging
can't hurt me.
Bolt can't hurt me.
So I mean, when you see lists like this, like win the tournament, like what are your thoughts? Hey, I thought Raging Bolt was good, but Caleb Gettimer wasn't even playing Raging Bolt. What are your thoughts? I mean, with how dominant Reggie Drago was this past weekend.
Yeah, I mean, the deck is just good. Like it just when it's good, it's really, really good. And it's similar to Dragapult in a way where, it can win in two attacks. There's certain matchups where it can just go double Kirim, and just win the game that way. So it's very strong. I think it is a research hope you hit it deck sometimes. But like you just have to hit it right, and that's every deck has to hit it. If they don't hit energy switches, they're losing. And same for Miraidon. If you're not hitting generators, you're losing. Um, Looking back at Daniel, is this 2 tournaments in a row where he didn't hit any Raging Bolt?
Sounds better lucky
Crazy.
than good.
Yeah, I mean, again, like this is the meta that we're in, though, right? Like,
Yep.
yes, Raging Bolt is the most popular deck in the room. It's 15%. You have to account for it. You got to know your matchup versus it. But like, you could just hit none of them all tournament, right? We didn't hit any Regidrago, me and Mitch combined through.
I hit one.
Oh, you hit one? Okay.
I just hit one.
Okay. So we hit one
Send him to
combined
the
through
shower.
us, through 16 rounds of games, and Daniel's now through 2 tournaments, through top 4 of 2 tournaments, and hasn't hit a single Raging Bolt, right? So, and we know that Raging Bolt, why it's good is because it can beat Regidrago, pretty consistently. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, the deck's just very strong. Setup decks like, Gardevoir kind of feast on a little bit. Yeah, I don't really know what else to say about it, but it's just strong. It's just good. It's a toolbox.
Yeah, exactly. Another deck you saw with a good resurgence, Charizard making it back into a 2 in top 8 in the asymmetrical cut. One of our standard Charizard Pidgeot build, but with Secret Box. And then we actually had a brand new Charizard Noctowl show up, which was also played, which again, in the asymmetrical cut, Raphael, but we also saw it, Pedro Petrucci and their crew play the Charizard with a Noctowl engine. So again, kind of, I mean, really this deck, when you look at the list, it almost operates a little bit more like a, Terapagos deck, right? You see the 2/2 Charizard line, 4 fires, and really capitalizing off of this Noctowl line, plus mixing in the power of Dusknoir. Really not a deck that we kind of saw in the meta until really just now. What are your thoughts? Again, I'm sure you weren't happy to see the Charizards that you ran into this past weekend, but Charizard, a deck that a lot of people kind of said wasn't very well positioned, found itself with two decks in Asym cut.
Go ahead, Mitch.
Yeah. Definitely. That one like kind of like made me go like, oh dang, like that's a pretty crazy list because you really just don't see it. The unfair stamp Charizard is the one I really just ran into, honestly this weekend. But yeah, Maddox, to your point, like it's just like Charizard's just a good card. Like you're literally just taking a Terapagos list, essentially just inserting your Charizard and then, saying, hey, here we go, deal with my, 330 HP massive hitting Pokemon.
Exactly.
Like have fun.
Yeah. I mean, Eric,
it's just it's consistency, right? I mean, it's added consistency to a deck. It looks like they completely turned around the deck. For previously they would, goodness gracious, 4 fire. Previously they were playing the Arvin build, right? Arvin build was kind of founded in Brazil last year. So now this is the Iono 4 fire build. Pretty crazy.
If only they ran into handheld fans.
1 super rod, 2 nitro turn, only 4 fire is actually wild, but
again, right? It's operating as a Tropicos deck where you just say, hey, you need to have your Charizard, you have your double turbo for your.
There's only 1 double turbo though.
But again, we cannot let this pass Eric Jackson Ford's top 8 list, choosing a spec of choice,
Secret Box.
Secret Box.
There have been so many times
I like the box.
Of Parker and I battling Eric on Secret Box. We see Jackson Ford choose to bring the Secret Box. Also with the list of 3 stadium cards, probably some synergy there as well as some good combinations with several different counts of.
The box is a good card. It is probably one of the most underrated A specs there is. Everyone sleeps on it. I don't really see it too much here in Charizard, to be honest with you. I just don't see it that much. But I mean, it's good. It's definitely for sure good. I mean, you only played 2 Arven, so I guess it's just another way to see a supporter.
Right.
It's another consistency card. It finds
You
you a
get
Buddy
like
Poffin, it finds
yeah,
you research, it finds you,
candy,
you know,
candy, like
you can't
candy,
find.
candy,
Candy,
because
candy,
you
candy,
well no, because you go candy
candy,
and then
Yeah,
candy,
Arvin
forest, hill,
for
stone.
yeah, like
it
carrot,
finds
yeah,
you Candy, and Charizard.
yeah,
That
yeah,
one card finds you all 3 of those pieces.
exactly. That's
Oh, if you
like
get Arden,
wild.
yeah, you go,
Yeah, exactly. That's like
and you also go
wild.
collapse the way you wrote them, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
exactly.
exactly,
Exactly. Yeah.
exactly.
So, I
That like
mean,
that's crazy.
the card is very, very good and strong. I definitely like Jackson Ford's list way better than the new Charizard list. Um, I'd be willing to try that one more just because I think 4 Fire is just so cringe, but that's besides the point. They did well with it and it worked. Again, goes to show you as long as you know your deck and you pilot it well and you do a good job, it's fine, right? You're gonna do well enough at these tournaments.
Speaking of knowing your deck and doing well with it, we cannot
Yeah,
let the third place deck of LAIC, Goldango EX, pass us by. I did not
yeah.
have Goldango winning or not winning, getting top 4 at an international championship. I mean, maybe ever. And here it is, right? I mean,
We had a Goldango player in our room taking Maddox's bed because Maddox didn't make registration, sadly. But Austin Lee, shout out. He made day 2 with
Shout out.
Goldango and he finished in the top 128. He went 2-2 on day 2, I think. But he was doing pretty well. I think he was like 6-1. I mean, I think he finished at 6-2, Mitch. Is that right?
Yep.
And yeah, I mean, Goldango it's another deck that's kind of similar to Miraidon, where like people don't respect it enough, but it's strong, it's good. It's a single prize board state to start the game for the most, when you need to, and then you just come out of nowhere with a 2 prize that just smacks you, right? Like, and that inherently is so strong, and why Terapagos has done well for a while because it's able to evolve from that single prize board state and just go ham, right? Like with 2 prizers and we know that in today's format, it's a 2-2-2 race for the most part. And if you have a deck that can disrupt that prize trade or that can take 4 prize turns, it's very strong into the meta. And that's what Ilya was able to do with Goldango. Playing the one of counter catcher, again, same thing, just saying, I would suspect, and I didn't watch top 4 that much, I would suspect the majority of the tournament, he's very okay with going second because going second, one thing dies, sick, counter catcher plus superior, kill something, right? Like that's just very, very good combo. And what Magneton is going to bring to Miraidon next format. So we'll see how that kind of shakes out. But yeah,
And
it's nice to
arguably
see Goldango
Goldango
there.
gets better, right?
Arguably,
yeah, keep it
Goldango gets
growing.
better. Yeah, I
Mhm.
I think playing a bunch of different color energies in your deck is trolling. Um, and Prime Catcher's too good of a card, but maybe you just choose second and it's fine. I don't I don't know enough about the deck, but I think they do still need to play some sort of item gust because most of the time the issue with Goldango is getting set up and you need that supporter to set you up, right? So if you can find ways to consistently build a deck that can set up well and chain those knockouts while having a out to gust by item, I think it's fine.
Yeah.
All right, I know we're wrapping up our kind of discussion here. Real quick correction: it was a top 11 asymmetrical cut. So other decks we saw on top in the asim cut, we saw
Thorns.
Gardevoir, Rose playing Gardevoir, Austin playing Terapagos Dusknoir, and we did see that Iron Thorns by Leonardo. Other decks in top 16, we had a Cloth, a Roaring Moon in the top 16.
Yep.
No Americans in the top 16. We had we had a few Isaiah Bradner, Gabriel Smart, and Henry Chow just missing around in that 17 to 20 range.
I do want to call out that Lugia did worse than Cloth and Roaring Moon.
Not the reality
Hey
that
yo.
we've lived in. Looks like y'all listened and played your temples and played your hammers.
Well, we
I
did
didn't
put
think
we
you
did
would,
put
but you
it as
did.
A tier, so that's kind of I don't know, man. Oh, maybe one of us on this podcast selected players playing Lugia, and that's why they didn't win the fantasy draft.
At least I picked 10 players that all showed up to LAIC though.
So you're saying I had a handicap and still beat you?
I'm saying that the only reason you won is because of Brent Tonneson, who was not available for me to draft.
Yeah, I do want
At
to call
least
out though. There's one deck I want to call out before we jump off of this discussion that really showed up and it showed up big in like a big way and it was a talk of the tournament. And we've seen play of it before and that's the Mimikyu Ogre Pond deck. We saw it played by Alessandro Carmaselli in Gdansk, and he did well with it. And a big group of players, Szymanski,
On
um,
and on.
Fontenot, and some other really good players kind of picked up the deck. I know Josh Frank also did too. And the deck's very scary. Like quad Mimikyu plus two fighting mask Ogrepons is very good into the meta of where it's good. So if you're going to Sacramento, I would definitely test against this deck and make sure that you can beat Mimikyu or Ogrepon because I don't know how good it is in this format, but the deck itself is so strong and it's an attacking control deck. It's similar to Iron Thorns in a way. And just having the option to have a control variant that can attack is very strong in any format. And now we have two decks that can do it, Iron Thorns plus this. So just want to shout out that deck. Shout out Christian Fontenot for a top 32 finish with that deck. So was Alex Szymanski. I think Alex has been on a pretty big tear this year as well.
Speaking of big tears, we do have to give the massive shout out to Eric's fantasy draft again. Bringing it home here, but really, 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 I cannot stress enough how much he was carried by Brent Tonneson.
Yeah. We'll impose the graphic for those of you on YouTube here. It'll also be on Twitter here soon. But yeah, Brent Tonneson definitely carried me. And I'm okay with that. I don't mind being carried a little bit, jump on my back. But Max is like we've been saying for all season as we go to look towards the leaderboards and stuff, and people are looking at the updates. A very strong finish outweighs multiple finishes, right? Maddox had, I think, what you had. I'm not looking at the graphic. You had 9 people get points on your list.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah, you had 9 people get points on your list out of the 10 that showed up, and he was still 100 points behind me, and that's just because Brent Tonneson finished in second, and I got so many extra points for that, and Parker even picked the winning deck. He picked the Drago V-Star, got the bonus points and finished in last place, right? It's all about the quality of your finishes. And that's why I drafted the best player in Australia, #1 overall, because my actual #1 overall draft pick got DQ'd. But yeah, we won't talk about that.
Every time he'd walk by Brent, like today, he was like, "Look, it's my goat."
Yeah, I was like hyping up my people. Even Austin Lee played against one of your horses, and I was like, Austin, I need you to win this one, bro.
Yeah, yeah.
Who did he play against?
I think he played against
It,
Caleb.
it was a fun mini game over the weekend. That's for
Yeah.
sure.
It was either Caleb or Michael, one of the two that you picked. I can't
Oh,
remember the
Michael
exact.
Davidson.
Yeah. And I was like, I need you to win this because he's my horse, and if you do, I'll buy you a beer. And he lost, so he got no beer.
Yeah, well, do gotta give a shout out to my #1 overall draft pick, Giovanni Sasso. Again,
Killed it.
on a tear, and he
On a
showed
tear.
up. He said, "I've been playing Tropics Gusto. I haven't missed the finals yet." And he showed up and played
Cloth
and got top 32. The absolute legend,
Bro
first year
said,
master.
Yep.
Super excited to see
Yep.
this kid rest away.
yeah. Anyways, let's move on. We got to get to some Sacramento discussions. So before we do, I want to thank our sponsor, Nakama Anime Cafe, for continuing to support this podcast and our seasons. We've got a cup coming up on December 7th. So make sure that you guys come down to Nakama Anime Cafe and try to get you some championship points. I'll be there battling my way up. I might be playing Quad Mimikyu, so just be ready for that. But yeah, come on out. Let's have a good time. I do have a fun trivia question for you guys.
Oh no!
I know we
Oh,
don't have Parker.
uh-oh.
So Mitch, you're gonna have to try to carry Maddox because Maddox really
Uh,
struggles at these sometimes.
uh,
Are you
joke's
guys
on
ready?
you.
Are you guys ready for your trivia question?
Let's go for it.
All right,
Ready as
Surging
I'll ever
Sparks
be.
is this weekend, right? It comes legal this weekend. So of course the question is about Surging Sparks, right?
Uh-huh.
How many different supporters are in Surging Sparks, and can you name all 8?
Man.
Oh, actually, I might do okay with this. So there's the one that I don't know how it's coded into it's coded terribly into PTCG Live, where it's like you put down Pokemon face down, you say the name, your opponent has to guess the
Oh,
HP
that
of
one.
it, and you
Oh
get it
my
right, you draw
gosh.
4 cards, or they draw 4 cards. It
Sure.
starts with a T, I think, like time or something.
Sure, it is time. Yes, that's one.
Mitch, you know any?
That man. I was
Over
trying to
any
like
Portuguese
predict.
packs?
I was like trying to predict. Nah, I kind of gave mine away after winning the GLC side event. Um, but I was trying to predict what what question, and this was not what I was thinking. This was not at all.
Come on,
Um,
man. You didn't open any pre-release kits.
I didn't get to, man.
All right,
I
I don't want
did
to have to
not
try
get
to
to.
steal the
You
show,
have
but
to
I'll
carry
have to
me,
do my
Maddox.
thing, right? So there's the guy that looks like Salvatore, but it's not Salvatore. It's basically Adventures Discoveries, where you get search your deck for 3 Pokemon EX. There is one of the fantastic chase cards, Lisa's Appeal.
So
Switching your
Crano,
opponent's
Crano
bench
is what you were
basic
talking about.
Pokemon. Oh, what was it?
Crano,
Crano? Okay, sure.
Lisa's
Sounds good enough
appeal.
to me.
Okay.
Yeah, Lisa's Appeal. You
Yep.
got the one you got like it starts with a D and it's like you look at the top 7 cards of your deck and you grab like a trainer and a
Okay.
Pokemon.
Drayton. Yep.
Okay, it was Drayton. Okay, that is the dragon guy.
Look at him go. Look at him go. My goat.
We're running pretty low though.
You're currently at 4.
Yeah, I mean like there's probably like one more, but it's probably bad. Yeah, there's the one that's kind of bad. It's the one that's -30. Jasmine something.
Yes, Jasmine's Gaze.
Jasmine's Gaze. Yeah.
Yes, yes.
Um,
The SIR of that card is very awesome and pretty.
let's see. I mean, and honestly, like, if there's any other card in there, it's probably not good. So, but I'll just throw in one more and I'll say 6. Mitch, you got any inspiration from all that?
The
Max has
probably
5
the
confirmed, and he's adding 1.
what if we added 2?
Nah,
Just one?
I don't know.
Yeah. Hey.
What's the final answer, guys?
All right, well, rock paper scissors for it, Mitch.
Okay.
If you win,
Okay.
it's 7. If I win, it's 6. All right.
Okay. You ready?
You got to put your hand
Rock-
in the frame. Rock, paper, scissors.
Scissors.
Whoa,
Shoot.
whoa.
I was timing
Do
it,
it
bro.
again.
I was timing.
Faster. This rock,
Rock,
paper,
paper, scissors, shoot. All right,
Okay.
Maddox.
Maddox
So we'll go
won
with
paper
6.
over rock. So you guys are going 6. The
Yeah.
correct answer is 8.
What? That can't be true. There are not 8 cards.
You are missing Lamont's Quick Wit.
Oh, yes, that one.
Heal
Yep,
60
heal
from
60
each
from
of your lightning Pokemon.
I told you
Okay.
you should have done +3, Mitch.
Ah, totally.
You're missing Drosna. Shuffle your hand to your deck, then flip a coin. If heads, draw 8. If tails, draw 3.
The new Epic
Epic Splash card. Yes. And last but not least, I'm surprised you did not name this one. Surfer. Switch your active Pokemon with one of
Surfer.
your bench Pokemon. If you do, draw cards until you have 5 in your hand.
I forgot that
Do
card's
remember
actually
that one.
kind of good. Not as
Yeah,
good as Birdkeeper, but it's a nice to have.
Yeah, no, it's still pretty good though. Anyway, so yeah, that was a quick, fun,
Sorry, Maddox. I
Surging
was no
Sparks.
help.
Yeah, no help there, man.
It's okay. I'm normally no help to Parker, so I had it covered.
All right, so now it's time for Boom or Doom. This is a segment where Maddox will give us a two cards or 2 pieces of a deck or something, and we will choose Boom or Doom. Boom means the deck is fire. Doom, it means it sucks, comparatively speaking to
Garbage.
the other one, right?
Yeah,
Max.
only one can be Boom, only one can be Doom. Again, Beach Court Podcast cosplaying as the Costco boys today. Mitch will be playing the role of the Rizzler, of course. Let's get into the first one. We're going right into Surging Sparks. I got 2 of the main big decks, right? The 2 big new decks coming from Surging Sparks. I got Celerage EX. Again, discard fires.
Cerulege.
Discard whatever energy. Cerulege. And hit massive damage. Cerulege.
Data.
Do you know how to say it, or are you just saying words?
I don't know. I know.
Cerulege.
Cerulege EX versus the big bad, the Milia out, the Kiram attack, except you don't have to discard energy, Hydreigon EX.
Hydreigon EX. I mean, if we're looking at online tournaments, I'm seeing better results from Hydreigon, and the second attack's kind of busted. The issue is Latias is a card, and you can't trap anything in the active like you can with Bayonet today, sadly. So I'm going to say Boom for Cerulege, because eventually you just go boom and you hit a bunch of damage, and I'll say Doom for Hydreigon. What say you, Mitch?
I gotta say the man, like Cerulege. I mean, you're trying to draw like half your deck like as quickly as possible, get everything gone, energy discarded, but man, Hydreigon, I love Hydreigon so much. Like I think that would be, man, I think it'd be such such a fun deck. But I gotta sadly do the same as Eric. I gotta boom Cerulege and Doom poor
You
Hydreigon.
gotta do it with the accent, Mitch. You can't do it
Oh,
without.
oh, here. Boom Cerulege.
I'm gonna go a little off kilter from the rest of the group. Listen, I think
Okay.
Hydreigon, while it is a very combo heavy deck, listen, you're thinking about the big Obsidian attack. If you're able to set that up some games, you can just win because they can't deal with a
Hey,
Hydreigon. The first attack,
133
yeah, 130 everywhere.
places.
Well, not everywhere, but active
It's
in 2 more spots.
Manaphy.
But listen, that first attack, 200 damage, mill 3. Listen, if you get one of those set up against a Lost Box and you just mill 2 Mirage Gates, you just win on the spot. Listen,
Miltu
there's some
Colress.
decks. If someone can crack the list, find maybe an Arvin Zard style of this, is able to pull off the Neo Upper Dark Patch, retreat your Pidgeot, attach counter gain. I mean, we could see Hydreigon maybe with a big finish.
It's just Hydreigon Terrapagos, right?
All right, so I'm giving a boom to Hydreigon EX. Celerage, Cerulege.
Cerulege.
It's high doom.
You
for
might
today.
as well pronounce it bad if you're just giving it the Doom anyways.
But another couple we got, again, a little more in the wall strategy, right? We saw a little bit of the Cornerstone Ogerpon. We're talking about some of the new big bulky walls of Surging Sparks. We have Archilodon EX. Again, when you evolve it, bring 2 energy for your discard, 300 HP on a stage 1. Ridiculous.
Beefy.
Versus Melodic EX. Again, not quite as bulky as Archilodon, but you do have that ability where you're preventing attacks from your opponent's Terra Pokemon. So better wall, Boomer Doom, Archilodon, or Melodic EX. Mitch, we'll go to you.
I am a Dialga V-Star lover, and some of the Scramble Switch, Archilodon, Dialga V-Star decks that I've seen running around got me pretty excited, I'm not gonna lie. And then throw in the Relicanth and with the you can use the previous stage and the Raging Fist from the baby. That it seems pretty fun. Seems pretty fun. But I mean and the wall, I mean with Melodic, you can do some pretty funny stuff, but that's not really my play style. So I would do the boom for Archelodon and the Doom. Get out of here, Melodic.
Yeah, so for me, I'm a big Feebas enjoyer. I don't know why. I've always loved the other melodic, like Protected Your Hand for Goldango, and they never played it. The issue is it's 30 HP and Lost Box is running around, Dragapult's running around, Regidrago playing Dragapult is running around. So setting it up is going to be a problem. You probably have to go second and TM Evo, and that's the only way you're going to play it because going from 30 HP to 270 is incredible, right? And the attack has a very small subtext that people are not talking about enough. And that is you put your opponent's active Pokemon to sleep after you do 160. And that's a very good effect because same as Snorlax, why it's going to be good. Nobody's playing switch cards because Latias is there. But guess what? Can't retreat if you're asleep, right? You can't attack.
Snoozing.
You do flip a coin, so it is a coin. It is kind of coin flip based. Archalodon, I think it's a meme. I think it's okay.
Whoa.
I mean, 220 is a good number. No fire weakness is a good thing because Radzard's still running around. That's pretty good. But man, it just takes a little bit too much. I don't know what to play it in. I mean, Dialga's kind of cool and whatever, but I don't know. When I look at a deck right now, I'm thinking about consistency, and then all the Duraludons are over 120 HP. So how are you getting them down? Are you playing Trolley? Right? So I am boom for Melodic and doom for Archaludon because I don't think you're setting the deck up.
Both good options. Kaido has a very, very fun Archelodon list with 4 Pokemon Catcher, a very fun way to play the deck. But I'm actually going to give a boom to Melodic here. I think it fills a niche in the wall deck. And that first attack, even though it was only 30 HP on a Feebas, that first attack is Ascension. So you just need it in the active, attach an energy, and you have your Melodic out and ready. But going to the Ace-Specs Boomer Doom edition, we have Brilliant Blender. Again, Battle Compressor is back, but it's a pink card now, and it's 5.
Pretty
Versus, again, Precious Trolley. VIP Pass is back, except it's 5 of them, just like Brilliant Blender, or maybe 8 of them, depending on what you got. So, Eric, Boomer
Yeah,
Doom. Brilliant
easy one
Blender,
for me. This
or
is like a
Trolley.
layup. I'm just gonna go ahead and shoot it. We are going Brilliant Blender, baby. Lugia is back. It's better than ever. We've got the best Lugia deck, the most consistent Lugia deck you could ever think about. You just play, it just came across my desk. You just play an Irida or an Arvin. You just get the blender, you just discard the Archeops, and man, it's just a boom. And then this other card is just a doom.
All right, interesting take, Mitch. Where are you at? Trolley versus Blender.
Hey, I gotta say, I was pretty good, but that trolley, a Reggie's baby. Let's get it. Where are Reggie's at?
Yeah, but what about your energy, bro? You gotta get your energy to the
Hey,
discard
hey,
pile. You
hey.
need both ace specs.
We'll think about that another
You
time. All
trolley
right.
for 6 Reggies and Squawk. Duh.
Done. Look, see, Maddox has got it downloaded. Easy. I gotta say that honestly, the trolley, I like the trolley. I think it'd be some fun decks with the trolley. Bro, the blender's good, Eric. All right, but come on, you got to give some love to the trolley. I'm gonna go with
Yeah,
the
we play.
boom on the trolley. Boom
Okay,
on the
so since we're
trolley.
playing Pokemon catchers anyway, we're just playing Trolley and Raging Bolt, right?
Hey,
We should just go get all.
there you go. Get them all.
them all.
All the friends come to
Just
play. Let's go.
So-
Boom trolley and doom the blender.
Listen, I don't think there's any more ace spec conversations, and I can't believe you didn't talk about Miracle Headset via Seeker's back, baby.
Maddox, what you got?
I got a
What you
full
got for us?
Doom on Miracle Headset, but actually I'm going Precious Trolley Boom. Brilliant
Yes,
Blender.
sir.
Doom. Listen, Brilliant Blender. Lugia's not even going to play it. Legacy Energy is just too
It is
powerful
too-
for Lugia.
it's
No, it's
so
not.
good.
Just open Ultra Ball double chops. That's all you got to do.
Every time.
We just play Vessels now. We get Lightning anyway. We get Lightning's back. It's fine. We don't need it.
Nah.
Trust. Trust.
Again, we're going to the comeback battle. Boomer Doom. We have Counter Catcher, a format staple for a while, versus the newcomer, the reprint from Lost Thunder, Counter Gain. Counter Gain, when you're behind on prizes, your attacks take 1 colorless less to attack. Mitch, Boomer Doom, Counter Catcher versus Counter Gain.
And there gonna be some spicy decks coming out with the counter gain. That's gonna be pretty good because obviously you got your Magneton and you got obviously your Dusclops, good old Dusclops. And you probably get some pretty cool stuff like the Hydreigon, right? There you go. But
Yeah,
I gotta-
Hydreigon needs all colored energy, buddy.
hey, look, buddy. All right.
No.
You know-
No.
He's one colorless?
It's-
One
The
psychic, one's metal, one dark, one colorless.
All right.
You
well,
upper
I've
dark
been
patch.
corrected.
Counter Gain.
I've been corrected.
and then
Big boom.
look, see, look at this, Eric. Learn something new every day. And
Sometimes
then counter catcher. I mean, it's good, but that counter gain, I think there's gonna be some really fun decks with the counter gain. So I'm gonna go boom counter gain, and doom the counter catcher.
Listen, you can take the counter gain, you can put it on Undersea Tunnel and attach a double turbo and go mill 9.
Bug Trio is not back.
Anyways, yeah, this is interesting, but counter catcher is just too good of a card. There's so many good cards that can utilize it, like the Dusknoir decks. Even Magneton's coming out now. There's so many different decks. You saw Goldango use it in top 4. The card is just too strong right now to say that that's a Doom card and that anything's better than that. Even counter gain, while it's strong, and it will have specific use cases in certain decks. Counter catcher is too strong of a card across the meta, so I'm going boom counter catcher and doom counter gain.
Yeah, Counter Gain has a lot of great combo right now. Radiant Charizard for 1, including also Blood Moon Ursaluna. Lots of great combo potential with that. I think Control is going to have Pidgeot Control is going to have a field day with Counter Gain.
It's
But
gonna
for
be
now,
spicy.
again, Counter Catcher, I can say for 100% certainty we'll have multiple copies in the top 8 of Sacramento. So I got to give a big old boom to Counter Catcher. And Doom, it's Counter Gain's time yet.
Eventually, guys. All right.
Eventually.
Eventually.
All right. The big one we alluded to earlier, our last one of our specific based off of SurgingSparks, and we'll hit into the rest of the meta after this. But we have Latias EX, the newcomer, free retreat to all your basic Pokemon, versus Switch from Scarlet Valley Base Set.
Oh,
Or also Switch Cart from Astral Radiance, I think.
oh,
Yeah, hey, listen. You got to hey, this weekend in Sacramento, Latias EX or switching cards in your deck. Boom or doom.
I'm going first because I'm tired and I'm gonna go to sleep. says Snorlax. You better be playing your Switch cards. Do not put that. Latios is great. I swear, it's so good. I understand it.
It
But
is.
until Snorlax rotates, do not put that card in your deck. Unless you're also playing Switch cards in addition to it. So I'm going boom, Switch cards, Doom, Latios, because you will be doomed when you hit Snorlax.
I gotta go with the more realistic answer here as well. Definitely definitely Latias is great, but I think it's just gonna bait so many people into just being like, I got Latias. I don't need no switch cards. I'll never hit the block lax. No, no, I'll never hit those. I don't hit those at all ever, and they will hit all of the block lax and be very sad. So I am definitely going boom to our uh good old switch, and then doom to Latias.
Snorlax will never be more than 5% of the meta. If you know your locals, play Snorlax, maybe play some Switch cards. If you're going to Sacramento, Snorlax is not real and cannot hurt you. Cut those Switch cards, play one Latias,
Oh
maybe play
no,
Heavy Ball
no,
or something
no,
like
no,
that.
no,
Have
no.
extra, listen,
No,
you
no,
need,
no,
listen, to
no.
win this, you need higher power of your deck. You don't have to worry about Snorlax. I'm giving a huge boom to Latias EX. You save so much deck space. Just cut the Switch cards, play Latias. It's going to take care of all of your needs.
Yeah, but what about your bench space?
You don't
Figure it
listen.
out.
Oh, what else are you gonna have? Support Pokemon? Oh, I need a Pheasantipity so I can draw onto my Switch. No, look, I can just retreat for free.
No, I need a Pheasantipity so I can draw on the boss for game.
So that I get
You're
around the
losing.
block
I'm
lax that I
nest
cut my
falling for
switches.
Latias and winning. Listen, Petrarant gets played in dark decks because it gives you a free
Oh,
retreat.
Wait, what is Latios
effectively.
week 2? Is it dark?
Yeah, dark. Yeah,
Yeah, okay.
Charizard's not a real deck. But anyways, we're getting into the big one. This is one of the big ones, right?
Oh boy.
Oh,
Listen, our LAIC champion Regidrago V-Star versus the other dominant V-Star of our era, Lugia V-Star. Going into Sacramento, one's got to be a boom, one's got to be a doom. Who are you taking?
oh, that's tough. That is
It's not
tough.
It's the layup.
I mean, whenever I play Lugias, they always got it, man. You know?
Yeah, but Magaton is going to make Miraidon so much better. So Lugia is going to suck because of it.
This
Like
is
even
true.
more, right?
This is
So
true.
I'm going boom, Regidrago, the winner of the last 3 major events. If you exclude Argentina, congratulations, Jim, Palkia Dustnor. If you exclude that, winner of the last 3 major events, I think the deck can get stronger. You got the Executor you could put in the deck. You've got Terra Orb to find your Dragapults. You got a lot of cool cards that you could play in the deck now. So I think it just gets better. And we're going to see it really well again.
I agree. And I think I'll have to boom Regidrago as well. Not to go off Eric's coattails, but definitely deck's just good, man. And they played that Gudra when I played that one Regidrago he was playing that
That's
Gudra, and
scary.
that is scary.
Those are
That is
scary.
scary. You gotta gust around it. It's like, all right, or I'm just tickling you. Like, sure, have fun. So boom, Drago, and Doom Lugia.
Yeah. Lugia thrives in new formats, and
Here we
especially as
go.
people are going to go and get,
Uh-oh.
a
Here
little bit
we
less skeptical.
go.
They're going to say Lugia did so badly, we're going to cut our temples, we're going to cut our E-hammers. But listen, Regidrago is just too powerful right now.
Oh.
Lugia will do well. I think Regidrago is going to do better.
He switched
Giving
on us.
Regidrago a boom, Lugia a doom.
Rahul, he's quitting on you. I'm sorry. Kieran, sorry. He's
He
giving
doesn't mean
up.
it, guys. He doesn't mean it, I
They'll
promise.
show up. They'll show up. It'll be fine. All right. We have a we're gonna hit you with, hit you a little closer to home. Listen, we have a deck that just won 30,000. What's the third place? Win 30,000. Goldango EX versus and LAIC versus the deck that you all played, Miraidon EX.
Why are you even asking us this question? You know we're choosing Miraidon, baby. Miraidon, boom, rise up, Magneton, counter catcher, GG's, shake the hand. Move on. That's it. Boom.
Definitely biased with the Miraidon. Definitely biased. But I feel like Goldango's it's like what you said earlier, it's always slept on. So Eric, I'm gonna have to go against our
Huh?
morals here.
Huh?
And I gotta say I gotta say boom
Oh,
the Goldango and Doom Miraidon.
man, you're just trying to make Abby happy. Don't even lie.
Nah, nah, nah. Shout out Abby and Austin. Listen to the podcast.
Yeah,
The
never
well,
give you my 60 again.
Energy Surge
Power
Pro does
60.
give a lot to the deck. I know Eric isn't quite a fan, but listen, part of Goldango's issue is it's not getting one Goldango out, it's hitting a high damage number turn one. Energy Surge Pro lets you turn again card advantage, turn
Yep.
one card into 7 or 8. That effect is extremely powerful, and that's why it's going to see some success. I think Goldango is held back by not enough top players playing it. I think maybe after these finishes, we'll see a little bit more of that. So I'm going to give a big old boom to Goldango, a personal favorite
Let's
deck of
go,
mine
medics.
lately. Miraidon, unfortunately a Doom, but I do think it gets a lot better with Magneton coming out as well as Pikachu EX.
Adam Reinhardt, if you're listening, I need you to put in the comments and just troll both of them, please. Thank you.
No, Adam, I promise. Miraidon is still gonna be really good. I promise.
All right, everyone's decks that do not enjoy. We have a Pidgeot Control. Again, gets a
Oh,
lot of new tools.
Uh,
Black Kyurem gets counter gain like we just talked about
uh,
versus Snorlax. Is Latias
oh,
EX going to encourage everyone to cut their switch cards? If one's got to be a boom, one's got to be a doom. Be Pidgeot Control versus Snorlax for Sacramento.
it's got to
Actually,
be.
I'll jump in this one first.
All right,
oh,
go,
okay,
Max.
go for it, go for it, go for it.
Snorlax
What do
is
you got?
fine. People don't enjoy playing this deck though. Snorlax will never be a high percentage of the room. Pidgeot Control gets a lot of good tools. I think there's even some good, colorless attackers that give you some niche potential in control decks. Counter gain's very good. Black Kyurem giving you an answer as well as Genesect to the Regidrago. I normally have a hard time picking control in a brand new form. We just add a new set, but I think that someone's going to cook up just the right piece with Pidgeot Control and have a nice run at this event. So big old boom to Pidgeot Control. Snorlax, Doom, not real. Just play Latias. It doesn't even
Bro.
Eric, why don't you go?
Yeah, I mean, I think Pidgeot Control is just like one of the most versatile decks in format, and you can just do whatever you want every matchup. Um, so I think while Snorlax is very strong and a sloth could play it, um, like literally just okay, instant charge, okay, boxed order for Airy counter catcher, like whatever, right? So it's very strong, but I think Pidgeot Control is the ceiling on Pidgeot Control is infinitely higher than on Snorlax, but Snorlax will just feast on Latias and people cutting their switch cards until it rotates next year. Um, so I'm going to go boom for Pidgeot Control just because of the tools that are available. And as we see, the best toolbox deck in the format, Regidrago, is tearing it up. So I think it will also do well.
I gotta I gotta go with yes, Pidgeot Control is absolutely so versatile, and you got to be like a really good master at it to constantly be having it evolve with the new cards coming out, with how the meta is going and how it's shifting. And but I mean, like, Latias is coming out. I think that Snorlax is going to feast on everyone cutting those switch cards. So I think definitely a big boom, big old boom to Snorlax and a doom to Pidgeot Control.
All right. Last couple here. Again, we'll go quick through this. We'll go quick through these last two. Turbo Roaring Moon. Again, we just saw top 16 at LAIC. Roaring Moon EX. Maybe it's back. Maybe it's in a good position. Versus everyone's other favorite Sada deck that's not Raging Bolt. We have Gouging Fire. Again, seeing some good performances, mixing in the E switches, maybe playing some darks with Monkey Dories. Also some top 32s at LAIC. Turbo Moon versus or Roaring Moon EX versus Gouging Fire EX. Who you got?
Yeah, I think Turbo Moon is just too strong, right? You got a lot of decks right now, like Hydreigon, Flygon, other like decks that are coming out that are going to try to do some cool things and big numbers. So I think right now, positioned in the meta, we will see Roaring Moon see more success than Gouging Fire. But I would not be surprised to see both cards in the same deck. But I'm going to go with Boom for Roaring Moon and Doom for Gouging Fire.
And I'll make it quick too. I think I like Gouging Fire. I mean, it hits some good numbers and everything like that. But I think honestly, I think Roaring Moon. Everyone likes playing Moon. it's fun. It's a good deck in that sense, and I mean, I think we'll give a big old boom to Roaring Moon and a doom to Gouging Fire.
Again, pretty close one for me. I think Gouging Fire has a lot of potential, and again is able to go aggressively and hit big damage without damaging itself, unlike Roaring Moon. So I'm actually going to give that boom to Gouging Fire. I know there's a few Gouging Fire demons, one that I want to play a little more. But hey, listen, like you said, Roaring Moon could also easily have a place in the deck as well.
Yep.
Last one, and a one that a lot of people are talking about. We have the brand new Pikachu EX featured in Lost Box. Again, maybe Turbo Lost Box is back. Regidrago's on top, but
We're back,
Pikachu
baby. We're
EX
back.
gives a good chance to deal with those Regidragos versus a staple, one that flies in and out of the format, piloted by the brilliance of Henry Chow. We have Gardevoir EX. So, Lost Box with Pikachu versus Gardevoir EX, Boomer Doom.
Maddox, why don't you take it?
Man, this one's tough. I think, listen, in this matchup, right? Okay, it's hard. I mean, right? If these decks were actually play, I don't know. It's a difference of the times. I think Gardevoir just has such a high power level right now, and again, so many talented pilots playing it. Gardevoir remains very, very good, and also has a lot of answers. And again, is a deck that's a little bit underplayed for how strong it is right now. Turbo Lost Box. I think Pikachu is a great addition. So many decks have a hard time dealing with that Pikachu EX. I do think people will be ready for it in Sacramento, and Regidrago is still going to show up. I think the deck still has a very hard time with Kyurem, which Regidrago will be playing with. So I think for this weekend, this might change in a week or so, but I'm going Gardevoir Boom, Turbo Lost Box with Pikachu EX Doom. Not quite the time just yet.
Yeah, I second that. Friends don't let friends play Lost Box ever. And I finally have gotten Mitch off the deck, and he's having some good results.
But I
So-
love Tina.
Friends don't let friends play Lost Box, and that's what I'm sticking to.
Yeah, I'll have to echo it. As much as I love my Lost Box, definitely runs into some consistency issues, and definitely playing that smaller energy count. Like, I think there's like a lot of onesie twosies and stuff like that. Definitely gets a little tough with the Pikachu. And I mean, hey, Gardevoir, if you just Monkey Dory, put the damage over on the Pikachu, and then you can just slap
That's
the
it.
Pikachu and your ability. You're done. So
Yeah.
I gotta go Boom Guardy and Doom Pikachu.
Yep.
Yeah, I think of all the Boomer Dooms, this is the one that could easily blow up in our face the most if Dead Drug Gaming
Yeah.
Crew shows up with Turbo Lost Box and just goes on
Hitting
absolute
300 at everything, eviscerating everything in its
I
path.
mean, we talked about this on the kind of the travel home. It's like as soon as Lost Box becomes like a very prevalent deck, everyone just puts Jirachi and Kyurem in their deck as techs, and it's over.
Or just Kyurem and a Cologne. And
Yeah,
a Cologne
Kyurem- yeah, and a
is
Cologne,
useful for a lot of different matchups
Like if
nowadays.
Miraidon just plays a Cologne, like how do you beat Miraidon as Pikachu Lost Box?
Hope it bricks.
Pikachu twice.
Okay. Thank you very much.
They Blood Moon. Actually, they got Blood Moon. Blood Moon Roxanne. I'm not sure, but anyways.
Listen, ask Pokeduels how that went on his stream the other night. It did not go well.
Anyways, thanks y'all for playing Boomer Doom. Let us know our biggest hits or our biggest misses on Twitter. Feel free to write us at the Beach Court Podcast or comment on YouTube, kind of whatever you prefer. Trying something a little new. Hope you all enjoy.
Yeah, I had a lot of fun with it. Thanks for setting that up, Maddox. I got some quick questions for you guys before we head out. Some Sacramento predictions. So are you guys ready for that?
Yep.
Most impactful card from SurgingSparks.
Look at the set list real quick. Is there a supporter? Is it Surfer? The supporter that I forgot?
Surfer, yeah,
Supporters.
Surfer. I'm gonna go. I'll go off the rip first. If you guys need a second, I'm gonna say Terra Orb. The card is very good. Terrors are starting to be everywhere. Terrapagos can play it, right? And it was always having a time. I think there's so many cool places that Terra Orb can be good. And some very smart people are going to unlock it. So I think that card is going to be very impactful.
For me, I think it's a layup. Format defining card, honestly. Latias EX.
Yeah, true. True.
He took it from me. Nah, I'm just kidding.
You can also say it.
Nah. And I'm actually genuinely just kidding because I was gonna say Magneton because I think Magneton Dude,
That's a pretty good answer too, honestly.
You're gonna
that
say that, but you
that
picked
card.
Goldango earlier,
Hey,
bro. Get out of
look,
here.
buddy.
Get out of here.
It's-
You're trying to get back on
no
my good
leaks.
side.
No leaks. Um, but definitely Magneton.
All right. What card will have the most count in the top 8 from Surging Sparks?
This is top 8 of Miraidons. Is
So
that
it
Magneton?
can't be
That's
it can't
kidding.
be an
That's
A
joking.
spec probably because you're low you need something that has like multiple on a deck.
I'm going counter gain.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Someone's gonna find the right deck. I think there are a lot of decks that could slap in a counter gain. Maybe an Arvin build, right? Maybe you could do some shenanigans with a Radzard early in Charizard or a Pidgeot, right? There's some untapped potential of counter gain that we're not quite seeing yet. So I think whatever deck's gonna do well with counter gain, maybe we'll see a 2 count in it, and that's probably gonna be it, honestly.
Yeah.
Eric, I'm gonna steal your from before. I'm gonna say Terra Orb.
Terror Orb. Yeah, that's a good one.
It's good card. Lots
Yeah.
of Terra in the format, so
No, that's pretty good. You know what card we haven't talked about today? I'm not gonna choose this card, but we haven't talked about Rotom like at all.
Bad.
I don't think it's bad.
it's
I don't think it's
Way
bad.
too
Like
much,
discard
right?
2 items is pretty good.
Eric, we gotta test it. Brought it up.
Anyways, I am going to choose Pikachu EX because it goes in Miraidon and Lost Box. So I think maybe
Yep.
I'll have a good shot there. Had a couple of decks playing, a couple cards of them.
Pretty safe pick. Also, I
Okay,
think honorable mention Alolan Executor, maybe an option of Regidrago if it has
Maybe.
a good showing like an LAIC.
maybe. Will there be any new archetype that makes the top 6 graphic from Surging Sparks?
Man, top 6.
Well, like the most played decks.
Yeah, most played decks. So like, will
Yeah,
will
yeah.
Ceruledge make the top? Will we can't really say Miraidon is new.
Yeah,
I mean, it's not really new, but you have to see like Ceruledge, Hydreigon,
yeah.
things like that. Will any of those make the top 6 graphic?
I think Ceruledge has the best chance, but
think so
no,
too.
it's gonna be all decks we've seen before.
Yeah. I mean, as much as like I don't know, like Ceruledge is, it doesn't seems pretty just linear. You're trying to just discard as much as you can and then, hit. So I think people could pick it up pretty easily. So I think you could see it's kind of like a Roaring
I
Moon
can see it.
effect,
Yeah, I can see
you know?
it.
Like people just like, hey, Roaring Moon, let's go Burr. And I think it'll probably make like 6th on the chart.
I'm
Just
gonna
for
do
people
a
just trying.
quick cost check. How much does Ceruledge EX cost?
I don't think it's that much.
That's how you can always tell how popular a card is. $6? That's pretty expensive.
Hydreigon EX only 220.
Yeah, I'm gonna go yes. I'm gonna say Ceruledge makes the
Let's
graphic.
go.
We've got
go, Eric.
we got our own David Merkins making his trip across the country just to go play Ceruledge. How many more people are also doing that? Anyways, last question. What wins Sacramento? What deck wins Sacramento? I'm going first. I'm taking it. I'm stealing it. My
Steal
ride
it.
on is back, baby. We are back on top. We are winning with counter catcher Miraidon. It's over. Just sign the slip.
Man, I I,
I
I
can't.
honestly, I think we'll see Lost Box. We'll see
Blech.
Lost Box crack it. I mean, it's just like an unknown format. I don't think anyone will respect it. And I think you get one good pilot, and they just go nuts.
Blech.
So I'm gonna say Lost Box. I don't know if it'll be like Pikachu or if it'll be. I don't know if we want to go that deep, but I'll say Lost Box.
Alex, what say you?
And formats like this, when everyone's trying to cook up something new, it's
Bro,
something
stop.
classic that does well.
Swear to
And
God.
He's gonna say-
to be fair, this deck has already been known to play Cologne and can get around some of the answers.
Okay.
I think I'm going Charizard EX.
Okay.
Yep. All right. I thought he was gonna say something else.
I thought I was saying Lugia.
Yeah, I thought he was saying Lugia as well.
I thought he was going to say Lugia.
Oh.
But anyways, those are kind of our thoughts and meta predictions for Sacramento. We'll be back next week to have a full recap of what happens this weekend in the Sacramento Regional Championships. And we'll be prepping ourselves for Toronto Regional Championships just a couple weeks after that. But that's going to do it for this week's episode of the Beach Court Podcast. Mitch, thank you so much for joining in Parker's absence this week while he was at work. Mitch, you got any shout outs or anything you want to do before we go?
No, gentlemen, thank you very much for having me on, and obviously, just shout out to all of our 904. I appreciate everyone from this weekend. My one goal was to try to mess up Eric and Maddox's and Parker's fantasy as much as I possibly could. Couldn't quite get there, but it'll happen. It'll happen one day.
Yep, definitely will. Keep practicing, keep doing what you're doing. And we'll get there. So until next time, we'll see you around, guys.
See
Thanks,
ya.
everybody.
See you.